The Panthers just stole your Friday news dump.
Here are the Panthers.
So, the Carolina Panthers, you're just tuning in, and maybe you missed the social push alerts or the last segment where we're literally live reacting to the fact that the Carolina Panthers just traded a bunch of picks and DJ Moore to move up to the number 1 spot. Here's where we're at. According to Adam Schefter, the Bears are trading their number 1 overall pick in this year's draft for Carolina's number 9 pick, their 61st pick, a first-round pick in 2024, a second-round pick in 2025, and wide receiver DJ Moore. I'd have to imagine, in order to make this happen, if they truly believe in Justin Fields, as you said, I mean, clearly there was never a doubt that they were going to move. There was this question as to whether or not they would move on from Justin Fields. No, they're not. If anything, they're doubling down on Justin Fields by acquiring DJ Moore.
They just got him a receiver.
Like a legit receiver.
And probably can take Jackson Smith-Njigba with the 9th pick now, too.
So there you go. So
done. Done.
After trading for Chase Claypool, too.
Yeah.
So
Pittsburgh.
there is your Chicago Bears investing in Justin Fields move, and you end up liking it. The irony here is what, Joe? The Panthers could have had Justin Fields 2 years ago.
Without trading.
But they didn't pick him.
No.
It's
like a cornerback.
For reasons. All right, fine. So now they find themselves.
Oh my God, irony alert. If they take CJ Stroud, isn't CJ Stroud just Justin Fields?
Yes.
Ohio State quarterback.
So the Panthers,
my brain hurts.
like in all things in life,
My
you
brain
end up
legitimately hurts.
like all things in life, you end up paying more in the long run when you just don't do the obvious thing first.
Is Loki still alive? I feel like
which timeline?
There's a timeline. The stones are being moved and put back in place.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well,
what?
Loki season 2 is around the corner.
Maybe they like Bryce Young from Alabama. Maybe they love Will Levis. I don't know.
Well, okay,
This is an exorbitant price to pay to move up from 9 to 1. This is an exorbitant price to pay.
So here's the thing. Clearly, they feel strongly that whoever it was that they wanted was not going to be there in the 9th pick.
Okay.
Because they could have moved up a little bit and not given up as much if it was Will Levis. You don't do this to get Will Levis. Okay? You don't do this to get Anthony Richardson. I think who's like a true scratch off. You do this because you feel there's a guy that you can truly win with now in a rookie deal. Given the coaching staff, Frank Reich, the Avengers that includes Jim Caldwell and everything else, these offensive-minded guys, who makes the most amount of sense? CJ Stroud.
In my personal bias, I think Stroud is the best quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
That's what I think.
What's been the knock on CJ Stroud?
I have
Because
no
they feel like
idea.
he's not athletic enough.
The thing with CJ Stroud is that he doesn't have as much experience as Young. There is a bias when it comes to your position and the college that you're from.
Fair.
And the track record. So Ohio State has not exactly produced great quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm truly stunned by this move and why it includes more. Remember, they turned down a bunch of deals that included Brian Burns. And we said these are all great moves because Burns is an edge rusher who you just can't put a price on that. That's someone who has value, right?
Yeah. So
I get it. Moore is now 26 years old. He's been in the league 5 years. I'm not saying he's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
But if you're getting a rookie quarterback and now will not have a pick in the first or second round over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Where exactly are you going to get this magical receiver from? Like, are you going to find Steve Smith from Utah again in the 3rd round?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck.
Here's why I think DJ Moore came in. It gets back to kind of processing why the Panthers had to give up so much to get in this spot. The Bears are not picking a QB. The Houston Texans are. Okay? The Houston Texans seem content with picking whoever it is on the big board that's second. Okay, these two guys we're comfortable with. Otherwise, the Texans might have been in on the deal to do a quick swap. But that's where your leverage comes in if you're the Bears. Because there's so many QB-needy teams, and there's only 4 guys we're really talking about. The Panthers were put in a position where they had to feel a little pain in order to make it happen. And that's where DJ Moore comes into play. A guy they can get right now that makes them better with Justin Fields. I'm not sure what others were going to be able to offer in that regard. So that's why the Panthers probably had to throw DJ Moore in the mix, because otherwise they might have gone in a different direction.
How do you know that?
In what sense? How do I know what?
How do you know what other teams were offering the Bears, right?
Oh,
the Bears
right, yeah.
leverage, what you're saying is predicated on them saying, well, the Texans, they're on the phone.
Sure.
The price for the Texans to move up to 1, we already know there's a whole chart for all this nonsense, Joe.
Yeah.
It doesn't include 2 1s, 2 2s, and your number 1 receiver, okay? So the GM from the Bears is probably sitting here going, well, the Texans offered me this. Like, why would you believe that?
Yeah.
They're someone they love, and I hope it works out for them, but something tells me it won't.
So here's the other question. You know what it would cost the Panthers less? Lamar Jackson. And this is the part that I'm having a hard time processing. They just gave away a ton of picks and a key wide receiver for an unknown. Straight up unknown. We don't everything we talk about with CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, or Will Levis is unknown. What do we know about Lamar Jackson? He's really freaking good.
He's 26.
He's better than
been
Deshaun
an MVP
Watson
in this league.
He's better than Deshaun Watson, who just got a guaranteed deal. And it's all this freak out about the guaranteed contract. But we talked about this with Bomani Jones earlier today, and he makes very, very critical points. Just because you want a fully guaranteed deal doesn't mean you're actually going to get a fully guaranteed deal. That's not like a break the bank thing. Like, do we really think that Lamar Jackson's not going to play football next year? That would be wild if that happens. So it would have cost you, based on the unprotected franchise tag for Lamar Jackson, if I understand this correctly, it's going to cost you 2 first-round picks. It's going to cost you this year's, the number 9, and next year's. Look at what they just did to get an unknown, though. And you can talk about injury this, injury that. Well, that's just as speculative as you convincing yourself that C.J. Stroud's going to be better
than
Lamar Jackson.
4 building blocks.
Yep. And
their number 1 receiver for a quarterback.
Yes.
That is
We don't know. Yes, Dennis?
All right, so I did the math on who they've acquired at quarterback. This is what they've given up for one position. This includes Sam Darnold trade, trading to draft Matt Corral, Baker Mayfield, and now this to get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
A 2021 sixth, a 2022 second, and a 2022 fourth, a 2022 fourth, a 2023 third, a 2024 fifth, potentially fourth with Baker Mayfield, but it's going to be a fifth. A 2023 first, a 2024 first, a 2023 second, a 2025 second, and DJ Moore. So 10 picks and a player.
For one position.
All right. And, making this segment even better is Josh Graham singing Rhinestone Cowboy while we're talking about this deal.